Morning, noon, and night. Welcome back to the 10th Generation Talk Show. I say I'm a 10th Generation Talk Show because it's probably two people, but I'm about the size of two people. So, anyway, we're going to talk about Microsoft buying Activision. It's a debacle, and it's something that shouldn't be done. Okay, um, just had to clear my the rare out of my throat right quick because it don't seem like every time Microsoft buys something, they destroy it. And we don't need any more of that. And Microsoft don't need it either. And the country don't need that either. So we're going to talk about the government first. Microsoft buys Activision. I would give them about maybe 6 months to a year before they fire mostly everybody in there, or make it so uncomfortable for them that they'll leave. That's Microsoft playbook. If you listen to Microsoft, Activision said that thing that we don't need a Call of Duty every year. Yes, we do. A Call of Duty every year keeps jobs every year. I'm just going down the government line right now. I'm just telling you how bad this is for everyone. Call of Duty's always pulled the numbers in, even on their worst selling day when they just didn't like put a campaign in the game, the worst selling game. It still maximized profit. It still made twice to three times as much as it did making it, which kept people in jobs. Microsoft don't believe in jobs. They believe in firing you, and they find the cheapest people to do it. Okay, so that's gonna be a debacle for that whole governmental area right there. The whole government ecosystem, wherever Activision, I really don't know what Activision is to be honest with you. But because they got divisions all over the place, so I really don't keep up on it. But each division is going to lose people who have steady jobs there, which means there will be less people buying groceries and products and cars and house notes, apartment bills, like gas and water. You get my drift? With all those things that they buy, it comes taxes, and they don't do it. Microsoft buys Activision for $68 billion. Now, what would it do for the federal government? Usually, the government doesn't get tax money off this stuff. A lot of times, this money is transferred from one man to the other man sent to another country, and pretty much funds that other government. So $68 billion, the federal government get nothing. When people that had these jobs was paying the federal government. So now the local government ain't getting anything, and the federal government isn't getting anything. A big debacle for everyone around so far. Gamers, what does that mean for us? Because it's going to cause a problem for Microsoft as well. Well, for us, that means they might say like Legend of Zelda or Breath of the Wild, Mario. Let's see, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War. But you say they got to do with Microsoft. This don't have anything to do with Microsoft, but it has something to do with gaming. These games come out every 5 to 6 years. Call of Duty come out every year. Call of Duty is the only consistent game in the history of gaming. Nothing else comes close. Most of the games, like Breath of the Wild, by the time Breath of the Wild come out, the next Breath of the Wild come out, it's gonna be a whole other population of people. It's like a lot of these games come out one game per console, and that's it. I only really bought a Switch for Breath of the Wild. And that was it, to be honest with you, and Bayonetta. So pretty much I spent like maybe like what, $350 on a game. And if you talk to Bayonetta, which AK we haven't showed up. So she haven't even showed up this whole Switch generation. So I spent $350 for Breath of the Wild, and I bought some filler games. Of course, you're gonna buy some fillers, but they would be like Mario and stuff like that, Mario Kart. It's just fillers, just something to do while you wait, and the grades come all on your face. You see what I'm saying? You're like a decade older by the time the other games come out. By the time you get ready to die, you even forgot all the games but Call of Duty. We need consistency. This game industry does not have consistency at all, especially Microsoft. I think this is the first they just launched this Halo, and the last Halo came out back what 7 years ago. We're going to lose this consistency of Microsoft buying it. This is damaging. I mean, this is a catastrophe to the gaming community, the interactive media community, the gaming community. Slash, that's what we are. We interactive media players. We are gamers. That's what we are. And this is catastrophic. That's all it is to it. Okay, everybody's losing their job. Everybody's losing a consistent game. And by the time the next Halo come out, people probably don't know how to develop dirt because that's how long it's gonna take. Okay, and now on to Microsoft. How bad this is for Microsoft. Microsoft, you do know if you fail at this, you're going to be the laughing stock of the world. You take this one of the most iconic, not now, the most iconic game because it's the only consistent game, and you mess it up. This just may be damaging to your company altogether. It's best you just walk away because you have this game already. You have Halo. You can bring Halo out every year. $68 billion. Do you know what you can do with $68 billion? Oh. This controller, but this is actually the one I got a one, but it's way over there. It was Series S. But this is just an example. You can use this as a mouse. You can have the first. Oh, I think I turned the Xbox on. This is the first controller that could be a mouse as well. $68 billion. You can have a Halo 1 year, a Gears the next year. $68 billion. You can have a Banjo-Kazooie 1 year, a Camille the next year, a Conker's the year over, and the Blinks. And with $68 billion, you can have your own card game. You will be in direct competition with Nintendo. You're leaving all this money. You don't have any platforms. You're leaving all this money on the table. Not to mention, you brought up a laughing stock that Banjo-Kazooie, no matter, you sit there and bought Banjo-Kazooie and still Banjo-Kazooie is super popular. They still talk about Banjo-Kazooie. You just bought out Halo. Everybody forgot about Halo. Okay? With $68 billion, what just came out? Horizon? For Horizon Forbidden West or whatever it is. I'll probably buy it in a little bit. But like I said, I've been watching some of it. And people, it's got like 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 hours of gameplay. Everybody forgot about Halo because Halo don't have any gameplay. But until you turn it on, I bought Halo. I haven't played it yet. I just need to put together 4 hours of my time to play it. I'll be finishing 4 hours. Okay, I don't care about online. I don't play nothing online. I don't play with people, okay? All right, first thing first, I don't play with men. That ain't gonna happen. I don't play with me, and I don't play with kids. That ain't gonna happen. Okay, that's how it is too. And by that, and I be out all day anyway, with people cussing and fussing and running around every day. When I get home, or when I turn that truck off and I get in that sleeper, I want to turn the world off. I don't want to hear nobody else. So I'm not gonna play online anyway. Most people are not gonna play online. This is all it is to it. That's why the other gaming systems are popular. Because when people want their private time, they want their private. They don't want to be bothered with you. That is all it is to it. Usually, I don't take an Xbox with me. Most of the Xboxes I have now, I got a Xbox One X, I got an Xbox Series S, I got an Xbox One, an Xbox 360, and the Xbox original up in there. Every last one of them are offline. I turned the offline off on that when I went on. Because when I get home, I want to play. When I want to play a game, I want to play it. I don't want to see no damn update. Excuse my language. I can turn my PlayStation on and I can play a game of Call of Duty. I can pick any Call of Duty right now and I can go over there and I can play it on my PlayStation. And not with Microsoft. You're going to turn the Xbox on and it's online. Oh, you got a 30 gigabyte update. I've been working all day. You think I'm going to come home to a 30 gigabyte update? For $68 billion, you can stop these doggone updates. It's like I got an Apple Mac computer, laptop, and the rest of them are Windows, but the Windows stays at home. When I'm conducting business, I don't want to update. I don't want to be bothered turning on the computer that's updating, okay? I will let you know, okay? You don't. You just update me. I mean, what is all these updates? Stop it! I mean, really, just stop these updates. Just have it on the side where if you want to update, update. So you see you got all these games you ain't done. You see you have all these games over here you ain't done. But if you got the platforms, you ain't done anything. You got the card games, you ain't done. You got the shooting games, you haven't done them either. 5 hours, and the next year was going to be 5 hours. You can't find some filler side missions and reward people with missions to put it up to 10 hours. That's why people forget about your games. Because you ain't sitting there long enough. By the time you sit down, it's over. Time to go. That's how it is. This is it. For real. When I played the last Gears of War, I played 4 hours of it one week, and I said, "Well, I'm going to go ahead and say the other four hours, maybe 5 hours the next week." I come and I turned it on for the last 30 minutes. I'm already at the end. I'm like, "Well, damn, I should have just finished it the other day when I was at home." That's all it was to it. For $68 billion, you can increase your games. Now we got Alexa and Siri. Here is Siri, and I got an Alexa show and Alexa Fire tablet right there. Got to be very careful because if you speak their names, they come on. Let me add you. There's a Windows computer right here with Cortana on. There's a Windows computer right here with Cortana on. And even though it's in sleeper mode and with the sleep over there, it's a Windows computer with Cortana on. And there's another Windows computer that's on over there that's got another camera facing this way. If I ever get a time to start editing like I want to, I will edit. Cortana. Cortana. For $68 billion, do you think you should make a responsive AI? You ain't did that either, huh? So you're not doing your games. You're not tending to your AI. What are you doing? There's no Windows. Is there a Windows Maps? We should have Windows phones for $68 billion. Why are you buying something you're not finna do? Crash cannot compete with Banjo. People may beg to differ, but you can think about it. Crash was on a popular system that sold the PlayStation sold 100 million systems. The Nintendo 64 sold 10 million. Why is people still talking about Banjo Kazooie, but not Crash? Crash just came up with another game. Released Banjo Kazooie on Nintendo, and everybody talks about it for weeks, and they're still talking about it. You mess up this time, Microsoft, you probably finished with the Xbox. This is probably dangerous territory. Now you got fighting games. I remember when fighting games were good. They are turned to total trash now. Okay, all of them. They're not advancing. They're devancing. That's all it is. The only one that's probably half as worth mentioning is Mortal Kombat. And that's because it's uppercutting a bucket of blood. But the characters are not animated at all. We can't get anything going in the fighting game industry. You should dominate that. It ain't nothing but fatalities. It's known if you turn the fatalities off of Mortal Kombat, people don't buy it. Then you got Dead or Alive. They didn't put any end bosses in there. But then again, I want to keep Dead or Alive in mind. Why it's gotten so bad. And then you got Street Fighter. Street Fighter. What they did? They hacked Capcom and pretty much no one cared. They tried to hold Capcom for ransom, but we'll tell everybody what you're going to do. We already know what Capcom is going to do. Just like with Microsoft, we know what you're going to do. Okay, we know all they're going to do. They're going to release about 24 characters. They're going to be half done. Maybe two of the females may be animated. The rest of them ain't. If they were, everybody's going to complain. Oh, you shouldn't do women. Look, women have more moving parts than men. Well, you need to get yourself a real woman. Yeah, you get yourself a real woman. You want to, boy? Until she decides to leave with the children. Not only you got to pay her alimony, and you got to pay child support kid. So maybe you want to shut your mouth and just look at you some video women. Trust me, it's cheaper because you can't afford that because you can't afford a real woman to leave because she leaves. Tell me the judge is not going to listen to you. He's going to listen to her. You just gonna be standing there as filler. They do not like men here in America. They can't stand men. You're going to realize the government is fully against men here in America. But anyway, the game is going to be half done. It just barely got complete. They put some characters on. I forgot all about it. And then the other game companies, I think they just released the King of Fighters. I bought that, but like I said, I played it. It didn't go forward either. This is in the same spot. You should be dumb with $68 billion. You should be dominating. But the problem is, who you going to get to do it? It's like Dead or Alive. The guy that actually created Dead or Alive, the game was constantly pushing forward, and he got fired for the reasons he got fired. Okay, we're gonna go into it. But anyway, they handed it to somebody else, and that's when it started getting bad. And the company don't even care about the game because the person that actually built the game is it there, so they don't care. And guess what? It's a hot mess now. You can't even jump in that game. Okay, it's okay, but that's about it. But it's the only animated game that's out there. That's just pretty much it. Okay, One lady was talking about, I don't like how they do women in their game. I said, did you play it? There was a couple of years ago. It was a friend of mine. I said, did you play it? I said, I ain't finna do that. I said, okay, I'm gonna buy the game. I bought the game for $6. I said, you go home and play it. Then I paid her $50 to play the game. She came back. She was blown away, even though it was missing. She was like, what's wrong with it? And she was like, what are they talking about? I said, look, you need to do things yourself, and that's what Microsoft. That's what you need to do, because Killer Instinct was a total catastrophe as well. You come out with six characters. So whoever Double Helix was pretty good. The characters were pretty much animated, but they forgot the fatalities. You know, Killer Instinct came with fatalities, though. Who did you get to do? You don't even know who you're getting to do these things. You don't even know. And then when Amazon went and bought Double Helix for whatever reason, no one even knows. Don't even know what happened to the company. They just bought it because of you buying it. It's just what happened. You're like them throwing your money around for no, and you don't even know what you're buying. So what happens? You go and get Earn Galaxy to finish the game, a port company of all things. Someone who has not been tested in thinking for themselves. This is getting other people work, make it their own, mess it up. Look what they did the Capcom versus Marvel. Two, one of those iconic games. How you mess it up? You gonna put this black bar across the screen with push pause. They got their own little funny ways of putting little things in there. The things was floating a bit. You get a company to do something that has not been tested. You didn't even go and check on the games because anybody at Microsoft, you're just rich billionaire people that don't you just don't look or even walk and talk about things. You don't even do it. You just say, "Oh, it's successful over there. I'm just gonna get you to do it." You can't get people to do things. This gaming, interactive media is an art. It's a historical art, even though Nintendo crashes a lot of it. But it's a historical art that shouldn't be lost. And Microsoft, you can't cut it. You don't know who you getting to do these games. You don't have anybody. This is what happens. You have your own in-house developers. 343 still struggling with Halo. They're still struggling. They can't get over a 5 hour mark. And it pretty much. I talked to the multiplayer people. They say it's not all that. It's gonna be hard to compete with Fortnite and Overwatch stuff like that. PUBG. Why? Because they use actual likeness of characters. They have people in there. They have booties and everything else shaking around in there, running around in there. Microsoft, you just body armor. No one likes body armor. So you're messing that up already with this body armor running around in there. They run around and smash their body armor, and then they see this body armor so many times they just tired of looking at it. It's like the Flintstones back in the 70s when it came, 80s when it came out. You just run across the screen with the same thing that's just boring. And you're just boring. You put the same thing on there. I get years ago, I think something about her mama's armor. They were walking over there. I said, why are you showing me some doggone raggedy old armor for? It was nothing special. You never show anything special. And that's what's going to happen with Call of Duty. You probably turn it into Crash Bandicoot is not coming back. That's it. You don't even do more iconic character Banjo Kazooie. What makes you think you're going to do that? You're not going to do it. So this is hurting everybody all around. And if Microsoft, you mess this up, I don't think you can recover from it. You cannot put your hands on something that's so well known around the world and then trash it and everybody see you trash it. Apple is going to laugh at you. IBM is going to laugh at you. The banking companies are going to, the Fortune 500 is going to laugh at you. This is something you cannot maintain. Just walk away. Sometimes it's best to worry about your image than it is to worry about what you're getting because you're not going to do this right. And all the people at Activision, it's just going to be issued when you get through with it because you're going to fire everybody in there. Everybody's going to lose their job. You're going to try to hire the cheapest company in there that's going to struggle like your system's struggling. You can't get over the 40 million. Most of the people just buy it just to buy it. The Call of Duty games do handle well with your controllers, but that's about it. And there's nothing special about your designs or anything. You're just a bunch of billionaires. It's just like Mixer. You went and bought. You paid all these people to run Mixer. If I was able to stop you right there, I said, don't pay these people. So you can hire an army. You could actually hire an army of people. You could have all sorts of gaming channels and food channels and fix-it channels and car channels and all this stuff. And Mixer could just blow completely up overnight with the money that you spent over $100 million, giving $10 million to the different people. You could have just blew that up overnight. You could just hire everybody in off of YouTube. if you really wanted to do it that way. But you could just hire other people in and just fill the whole thing up. You didn't do that. You don't know what you're doing. You sit there and you look at YouTube and you look at IGN and you look at a Eurogamer. And when Street Fighter came out, they would tell, "Oh, look at Chun Li's breasts. Breasts come with women, fool." But it's just a glitch. They'll fix it. 3 or 4 episodes on nothing. They're just being political. You go over here, and reason I brought that up because you're just going over here to these political channels who only thinks about their brand, and they're going to tell you wrong because they're going to make their brand look well. You need to come down off this high horse and walk all the way down here to the streets and actually do some footwork and find out what people want. And that's when you're going to be successful. But this ain't going to be successful. You're talking about Game Pass. Why would I want Game Pass? Ain't but game trash to most people because everybody works. Why I'm going to be paying you? Well, right now, but it's $9.99. I think it's $9.99. Oh, that's on Steam. It's $9.99. I'm waiting for a game to download. I mean, it's stuck there. Anyway, it was just $9.99 a month. Well, you ain't gonna maintain it. You're probably bleeding money off of it right now. So it's gonna go to like $19.99 for the bronze, and like probably $29.99 for the silver, and $39.99 for the gold. You know the old playbook out of trash where everybody get. It's gonna be the same. I already know what it's gonna be because you cannot maintain game passes. It is bleeding money. That's just all it is too. You don't even have game. If you had all these platforms, you had Banjo Kazooie, Camille, Conkers, and Blinks, and you had your car. I say it would stand a chance because Nintendo survives off of platforms. They selling 50 million to 20 million. See, that's what the Japanese. You want to be in the Japanese? You don't make what they want. Why would you want to go over there to Japan and be a force in Japan and you won't make what they want? You won't even test your games here. This is stupid. And the only reason Sony got run out, Sony has not paid attention. The only reason they got pretty much ran out of Japan is because they won't make Sly Cooper. They won't make that Jack and Dexter, the stuff that they liked over there. They won't make the card game. They won't with the Ratchet and Clank. I think they just came out with a Ratchet and Clank, but I don't even know why they didn't release it on the PlayStation 4. It didn't look like they did. It's no reason. But other than the PlayStation, you said you were going to give us something exclusive above the PlayStation 4. Are you serious? How can you be rivaling your own system? Okay, anything the PlayStation 4 make, the PlayStation 5 is going to make. See, Siri speaks all the way over there. It's an iPad on my radio. You're not gonna if you picked it up. She just came on and said yes. I do not have to worry about Katana. But anyway, I just talk Katana. All of them got Katana activated, and it's not gonna do it. But anyway, you don't do these games that Japan wants. They want their platform. They want their RPG. You don't even have an RPG. What is that? Fables coming out. You got that was the worst doggone presentation of a game I ever seen. First, you get a fairy that look like olive oil. Okay, so now you got all these little girls looking up, looking at this fairy, and it looks like olive oil. You're not gonna attract the attention of little girls. Little girls look at women. Okay, they want the fool. You put an olive oil over there, and then get her bit by a frog. See, this is the type of people Microsoft hires. You see what I'm saying? People with stupid jokes that ain't funny. You're laughing by yourself. You got the game. They're hiring in people the cheapest. They make a game for $1 million like Recoil. You make a game for $1 million. They say, well, we do it for 7,500,000, and then when they get over there, who can make this for cheaper? We can do it for 450,000. Okay, well I'm gonna keep this other 150 to 250,000 in my pocket. How about that? That's how Microsoft works. That's why the games that Recoil was a great game, but it was Microsoft in the end. Okay, and I blame YouTubers for this. You say Microsoft don't have games. Microsoft have games. They just don't do them. You should say Microsoft don't do games. That's just all it is to it. Look at Recoil, how terrible it was. They didn't animate anything. We have an animation deficiency. How times have turned back when I was coming up, been in the Super Nintendo, and we went into the PlayStation and in the PlayStation 2 era. It was all about animating everything you can get your hands on. Now it's just dust particles and light now. That's all it is. I said, people, you all amazed over dust particles and light. It's time for a change of clothes. I don't even understand why we even have an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5 because you haven't done anything. All it did, well, it's a little bit more detailed, but that characters aren't. You don't see any flexing muscles. I got a muscle in here somewhere. It should be. I should be seeing my wobbly butt. I should be able to wobble on it in the character like on the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation in the Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4, the Xbox One should be wobbly too. The belly should be bouncing. Muscles should be flexing. Triceps. Nothing moves. Okay, gaming is just deteriorating. There's no breast moving, and people there's nothing. Hair is like a rag. It's just like a one little rag. Give me a rag. A little piece of TV. This is the hair on gaming. This is all games with hair in it. That's all the animation you're gonna get. You're not doing anything. Nobody is really. It's just the same. It's just stuck in this place with what you trying to reach 4K. Why? Why? Because just because a couple of YouTubers are telling you to go 4K, look, if your system cannot do 4K, don't worry about it. All the game we want the game. I speak for 90% of the gamers. We just want a game that looks good, well animated, and at least 10 hours long, and controls well. It could be 30 frames. We don't care as long as it's smooth. As long as it's choppy, people pretty much 24 frames is pretty much what TV is. So I'm quite sure an extra 6 frames make the game look good if you do it right. Okay, we don't care about all of that. We just want the game to look good, play good, sound good. We just want we pretty much just want it to be pretty much 2022. You don't have to do 4K because no one even cares. Okay, to be honest with you, just the YouTubers because that's what their channel is about. And I'm not trying to dominate. That's what your channel is about. Okay, this is a 1080p. That's a 4K, and there's another TV over there. It's a 4K, but they don't play games except for the one right here, the main one over there. And this one right here is a 1080p, which is a bed over here that I bunks out on when I get home sometimes. And I look at that TV until I fall asleep. It's pretty much got a fire stick on it. And it's a bed, and it's another bed downstairs that I had just because I don't feel like coming up here into my gaming cave. This is a gaming cave. Okay, it's a bed right here, a living room right there, and it's a lounge over there with radio and everything else, and some weights. Because I lost 80 pounds. As you can see the wall now. Other videos, you check them out, you can see the wall. You can actually see the other TV. You didn't even know that TV was there, did you? Because I blocked it when I was over 500 pounds. Yeah, for 30 now. See, if you invest in something good, Microsoft, it'll turn out good. You won't invest in anything good. And that's how Microsoft really is. This is a bad deal for the government, it's a bad deal for the gamers, and it's a bad deal for Microsoft because you will be a laughing stock if you screw up the most iconic game in the history of time. That's just all it is to it. You will be a laughing stock. It's best you just walk away. We really need you to actually update. If you know, first of all, stop. I mean, if you really want to update so bad, how about updating the Xbox, the Xbox One, at least the Xbox Series S, because I don't have the S because I can't find one. But anyway, and get them apps out of everybody's way, and so we can play some music and have a slideshow instead of just sitting here with some apps on all the doggone time. Okay, it's $8 billion. Something you don't have to buy another company. All you have to do is just make your own games. If you really want the platform to be, something, send it over to Japan because everybody else is just going to be a gas joke and a snot joke over here in the United States. That's all it's going to be, and they're going to mess it up. They're going to make it their own, mess it up like 343. They can't get it together, just like Earn Galaxy. Oh my God, you got a port company to do your game, and you wonder why Killer Instinct still ain't finished. You just didn't have anybody in there. You know some Microsoft. You need to bypass IGN, Eurogamer, and all the YouTubers and find somebody. Don't go over to Twitch. Stay off of social media and find somebody that's an average gamer that knows games and make them the supervisor over your games and let them go. The first thing you want to make sure they are not political. First of all, what you need, how would you know? Not for the end is trip them up. Get a game of Dead or Alive. And now maybe Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. and ask them how they feel. If they say anything about this being wrong for women, don't take them in there. They're just being political. But and then or you can go to you can get an extreme what was it, the volleyball, there was other one, and put the men on there. See how they compare. Because so you go to it like I did, go to a beach, but I don't go too close to it because they think I'm a beach whale when I go there. So I stay like far in the back with a sign that said I'm a human. Some people stir to try to figure it out, but the other people like he's walking with two legs. I guess he is. Maybe this, free willy. There's those people. Some people walking with their free willy. I said, nah, this is 10 Gen, bro. I'm just kind of huge, but I get a little respect now because you can see the wall now. And you didn't even know the other TV was back there. But anyway, you need to test their mentality. Make sure they're not political. If they look at the game, well, this how this just the design of women's bodies. Then you can hire them. But if they have anything bad to say, tell them, yeah, thank you for your time. We'll see you later. Because you want to, because the only way you're going to compete is animation. Because you're not going to compete with everybody else now. The game, you can't compete with Horizon Zero Dawn when it's with 20 hours long. You can't compete with Breath of the Wild when it's 40 hours long, and all your games is 5 hours long. So now you gotta have to find something that they're not doing. Animate. Okay, please don't get NetherRealm to do anything because they're just gonna rip heads off. Okay, this is all it is too. You need somebody to come in there that's gonna put human designs in all your characters. Okay, and it's gonna take their patience and time to look at everything that's in, not just a light and in a dust particle. And stay away from Activision. It ain't nothing but poison to you. That's just all it is too. But this is 10G, and there's a lot to say on this, but I don't want this video. Friends told me don't let the video be this long. It kind of went a little bit longer than I thought it was gonna be. But anyway, I got to get back out there. They told us that the mandatory work days was over. Now we're back. Truckers are back on mandatory. So I guess one day I'm gonna be able to come in here and do my YouTube video like I want to. But for those of you all who sat through there and thanks, and I hope it was Microsoft of all people to stop this debacle, or at least somebody from the United States government to stop this. Somebody needs to stop this business because that's what it is. And we do not need to lose another art in here just because somebody has some money. But anyway, this is 10 Gen, and I'll see you when I get back off the road.